machine, mean sex machine. That really rhymes. Yeah.
Whoa! Hey, happy Saturday. Welcome, one and all. If this is your first time here, thanks for showing up. Welcome. And you know what I say, if you've been here before.
Every time you find yourself here, it's because you chose to come back.
Every time you find yourself here, it's because you chose to come back, and I thank you for that. It's Saturday night. It's this crazy stream thing we do here now. And as you all know, I don't like doing this alone. I hate talking to myself. So I'm not going to delay. I'm just going to bring in our first guest. I have no idea who might show up when tonight. I do think there's a possibility of a couple other people showing up later. But right now, we have fan favorite, ladies and gentlemen, Margie Noir.
Hello. How's
Hey.
it going?
Alrighty. And when I say fan favorite, I think I mean fan fiction. You know, we probably need some good fan fiction written for FragCon. What do you guys think? I think George Jefferstein might be the one to do that. It's all
How
good.
is everybody? How is everybody? I was watching you guys in the chat.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi, George Jefferstein. Yoshi was cracking me up. Oh my gosh.
Go on, Yoshi.
Yoshi made a comment about the aliens being real. The Mexican aliens real.
Yeah. I'm going to debunk that in a little bit. We're debunking those aliens.
You've been wanting to talk about aliens all week. There's just it's like there's just a lot going on in the world right now. There's like so many different topics, and then maybe I've been consuming too much content, but it's been a little overwhelming. No, we're not doing any foot shots tonight.
There's always a shoe of the day.
But it's kind of complicated in here right now.
Okay.
It's a
we
mess.
won't force the issue, though. We won't force the issue, but
Hi, Jimbo. Aram's here.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Sure.
And Dwayne, did I even mention Dwayne?
Yeah, Dwayne is in the house. Good to see you, Dwayne.
Oh, Enthusiast too. He's at the top. Who did you say was?
Frag Enthusiast wants you to be in charge.
Oh, I will be.
But you know,
I'm always going to take part.
I think Margie will best be in charge when she runs her own stream again, and then she can boss me around. Until then, I'm.
You're going to try to boss me? Is that what we're doing here tonight?
I will boss anybody on my stream.
You could boss me. I feel vulnerable today. Very vulnerable.
Why is that? Why do you feel vulnerable, Margie?
Oh, I just had a weird week. I've had a weird week. Oh, okay, therapy session.
I do know a little bit, but yeah, talk to me.
I've had a bit of a weird week. For some reason, I don't know, the weather's kind of been like blah too, which I think is playing into my mood. But today was very blah. But anyway, this week, why was it weird? Like I said, I felt like there was just a lot of stuff happening. Like, you know, just current event stuff that's just been so strange. The alien stuff we talked about. The, what's that guy's name?
Danny Masterson and Ashton
Masterson.
Kutcher. We're going to talk about Ashton Kutcher in a little while.
Ashton Kutcher. I don't know why that was like, everything was just a lot this week. Anyway, what else happened this week? And then I've just been consuming a lot of content. Like today I learned about, have you ever heard this type of person? They're called, let me see if I can find it. I'm going to try to say it. It's an antinalytist. I'm not pronouncing it right.
Does it start with anti, like ANTI?
Yeah, it's like ANTINATALIST. Here, let me do this. Can you hear it? Oh, listen, listen, listen. I'm going to play it. Hold on. Why isn't it doing it? Come on.
Anti-vaccine.
Anti-vaccine? What?
Anti-vaccine.
Okay, never mind. Anyways,
That's
we'll
no.
talk about that later. But it's a person who believes it's morally wrong to procreate because all that does is further the, you know, the pain that people are going to be put through. So
I
they
have heard of this.
morally wrong. Yes, I thought it was so interesting. It was a soft white underbelly episode I watched today. I don't know. I've just been watching a lot of heavy stuff. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So it kind of like put me in a weird space this week.
I have heard of this. I would not have remembered what it's called, but on one or two of the other things I'll sometimes listen to, some of the things that get a little philosophical and whatever. I've heard there being a term for that. Not that I'll still remember it. Yeah.
Antonello? I don't know why I'm having trouble saying it. I need to listen to it. Anyway, but it's so interesting. I've never really known that was a thing. And I think I actually might be a little bit of one. Just a little bit of one.
And so wait, what is it that you tell us the definition in a sentence or two?
So, okay, the definition is people that believe it's morally wrong to continue to have children.
Gotcha.
But this person believed even down to, like, she said anything that can say ow, like, you know, that can be in pain. If it's anything that could actually feel pain, she believes it's absolutely wrong to continue to, you know, to procreate, basically, because
Gotcha. Yes.
because it's not right, because we're all going to just suffer down the road, is what she's saying.
Right.
Isn't
And yes, I have heard that before. So here's antinatalism. So it's natal as in prenatal, as in natal, as in you're pregnant. Yes. So antinatalism is philosophical view that assigns negative value to birth. Antinatalists argue that procreation is always wrong because it is better to never have been born. Yes. It is weird. You know what? I do. Every now and then there are belief systems, philosophical belief systems, where I might say I agree with a good majority of it, or like I lean that direction. But when the definition of that philosophy is written out for what it is at its core, I almost never agree completely. Like, though,
well,
right?
They're starting to gain, like, I think people are becoming more aware of these people because they're seeing all of the, you know, the environmental issues that we're having, right? So because of that, you know, the warming weather and all of these, like, tragic events.
And I know that, but at the same time, yeah, like
she basically is saying she's basically saying that we're done for, the world is done for, and so why continue the agony? Like, we screwed up, we messed up as humans because of our greed. So why continue to create other humans to also suffer down the road? Because in her mind, she believes there's nothing but suffering ahead for us because of the environmental issues we've created. Is this too heavy for tonight?
Never.
Okay.
No.
I watched that.
There are no rules with that. I mean, as far as like, nothing is too heavy. It's all good. We'll end up like making it less heavy at some point, but go for it.
Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. So
and Bambavelli says, kind of agrees, 99% of my life's been bad and 1% has been good. Well, and as we know, 99% of percentages are made up. And that's a made up percentage too. People like to just make up percentages. I sometimes get annoyed at how people just are like 90% of, like, okay, I know what you mean. I know what you mean when you say that. You mean the majority of. But I'm somebody when I hear or read a percentile, a number, I want that to be scientific. I want it to be mathematical. I want it to be factual. Don't tell me 90% or 99% when you're just making up a number. That's where I come in.
But I think in this context, it's okay to say that. Don't you? Yeah.
Certainly, I'm guilty of doing it sometimes myself, I'm sure, even though that's how I feel.
But it is a lot of pain and suffering and a lot of unfairness, right? Like you see children dying of, these diseases and everything else. So I'm just saying, on the whole, it's pretty depressing. And yes, it's great that we get moments of happiness and these, things. But I think that, yeah, for the most part, it is a lot of human suffering. I mean, look at this flood. It's like 10,000 people died, or maybe more, in that Libya flood. So it's just, imagine going by way of a flood, just being swept away, and you're probably
my two biggest fears, the two ways of dying that I fear the most, that I just think would be horrible and torturous, are drowning and dying in a fire. Either way,
oh
water
God,
or fire.
oh,
those are my two
I think
biggest
drowning
fears
makes me freaked out more when I think of it.
It does. I get really anxious. I start to freak out when I'm in the open sea. It totally freaks me out.
You feel very small in the open sea.
Drowning and fire have got to be the worst ways to know you are dying as you die. Right?
The most painful ways? Just the most?
No,
yeah.
Just the most scary ways to they've got to be the most scary ways to die. I'm dying. I'm a little drowning. I'm swallowing water. Or I'm in a fire, I'm inhaling smoke, and I'm burning up. And you know these things in the last moments before you actually die.
That's a quick death. What about people that have to think about it over a number of...
I don't know that's quick death. I don't know is drowning. I don't think drowning is that quick. It's still you're drowning while you're drowning.
I think fire would be less horrible, but I don't know. I don't want to know. But I'm just saying, because fire, the pain, I think it's so painful that you probably just stop feeling anything after a minute. Why are we talking about
But also, bear attack would be number 3, apparently. George Jefferson says...
Bear attack?
Fire, drowning, and bear attack. Well, I would say being mauled by an animal to death would be a pretty bad way.
Yeah. I have bear.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most morbid discussion in FragCom at the moment.
I know.
As Captain Blimp says, he wants us to
stop being so morbid.
So now, Yoshi, yes, smoke kills before the fire. Now that would be typically provided, if the fire is big and it's away from you and you're trapped and you inhale all the smoke. But what if it's not that big of a space and you're inhaling the smoke as you're encroached in the fire? That's where I I would think inhaling the smoke and dying that way that's probably kind of close to drowning in a way, but that would make it easier.
How many are the lucky, how many people actually just go the best possible way, and that's just in your sleep, right? Hi, Michelle.
Yeah, this is an awesome intro to a stream, isn't it?
The dark mood. Much stuff.
Let's see. My friend's dad had esophageal cancer and was 4 stone when he died, but that was worse than drowning. Yes. I don't know. Yeah. That's certainly longer.
Cancer. That's what I'm saying. Cancer, dying over time with cancer is probably pretty rough. But I don't know. It depends how you if you come to terms with it. But I don't know anyone really does, especially when you're a young person. I think that, knowing that you're going and you're still so young and there's more to do. I don't know. That seems pretty horrible too, but wow.
George Jefferson says he's scuba diver, been knocked out underwater and scary, but not painful. Well, George Jefferson, you want to do a weird sailboat thing without knowing anything about how to sailboat. So you should be careful out there in the open sea on your goddamn sailboat and drowning and all that. Yeah, so.
Yes. Sorry, JJ.
Yes.
It's the weather and the kind of week I've had. I warned Mr. Clean. I'm like, I'm just in a very kind of weird space.
Hey, that's fun. Content, we're going to make morbidity fun. It's never fun, but
But yes. I mean, if you believe, here's the other thing I want to say. Just, dying from environmental causes is a slow, expensive death. Yeah. Exactly. That's how we're all gonna go. It's so morbid. Oh my God, maybe you should kick me off and get someone who's more fun tonight.
No. But this is a good discussion. This is a very good discussion.
Yes, because the slow way, we are all going to realize that we really screwed up, and that I just think a slow death is the worst death. Oh, there you go. There you go.
And Dwayne says we should start drinking. Yeah, look, as we said last week, a week ago, I said, this is the most sober stream in FragCom. I am now at 2 months sober, and Margie is at 2.5 weeks sober.
Yes.
So yeah, Dwayne, look what happens when you stop drinking.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. You kind of have to learn to just roll with, how you're feeling at the moment, instead of trying to do it artificially. Like, oh, I'm going to make myself happy now, so I'm going to have a drink. Like, you just can't do that anymore. Right? So that's, this is what you get.
No, it's all good.
There's just some.
Oh wait, I hit the wrong one. But a blimp says the worst thing about death is reincarnation. Yeah, if there's a lot of things I don't believe in. I don't believe in reincarnation exactly, but if you do, I don't know. Why is that the worst thing? That could be the best thing. I mean, if reincarnation were real and you believed in it, it's another chance. Unless it's like, oh fuck it, I got to do this shit again in a different way.
But have you ever thought, oh, reincarnation would be cool. I can come back this much better with this and that. You know what I mean? Like, if you could come back as a better version of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, look, if that were a thing, if especially if you had some control over it, if you could say, holy shit, here's the lessons I learned, here's how I want to do it next time. So let me start off in this kind of person and let's try to do it again. But
yes,
if reincarnation were real, the thing is, you kind of don't know it. You just have to believe in it, but you're not really. I don't think even people who seem to believe it, aren't really acting in a way like they learned anything from the last time.
I mean,
here's the other thing.
It's kind of an odd belief, right? I mean, I don't believe in it, but then I don't believe in a lot of things, right? So, but if it's all I'm saying is, it's like a cool idea sometimes to think about, oh, if that were the case, I would like to come back as I would definitely like to come back as someone who could sing really well. See, I've given this thought before.
Oh, really? That's your biggest. That's funny. That you would pick singing as something you'd want to do better next time.
Yeah, I think that would be to be able to sing.
So here's the crazy thing about reincarnation. and people who believe they have been reincarnated, they always believe they were some historical figure. Like the people were like, oh, I was king blah 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 or queen such and such, and or I was in the court of. Come fucking on. So many people who have reincarnation stories are historical figures
Well,
that
if you're
matter.
gonna tell me a reincarnation story, I would just think you're crazy. Like just
Right.
just
Like
my natural reaction.
I might believe in reincarnation more if people told reincarnation stories like, oh yeah, I was a peasant in 15th century Belgium.
Have you met anyone that has told you this kind of story ever in your whole life?
I'm pretty sure I have, but it was so long ago I can't tell you specifically.
Yeah. I've never had that. Tell me that.
Yeah, I feel like I've certainly known one or two people that have talked to me about.
Is that like a Buddhist belief? Don't they believe that you shouldn't hurt things because that could be one of your uncles? Like, don't step on a beetle because it could be. Am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong entirely. I'm going to defer to JJ, who is a little more versed in Buddhism.
A lot of things. JJ's
you know what I would buy into? Here's what I would buy into more so than just one-for-one reincarnation. Now, keep in mind, there's way more people. Well, there's way more people that have ever been alive.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is this true? There's more people that have ever been alive than that are alive right now. I mean, keep in mind, most people have died, right?
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
There's more people that have been alive than are alive.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? But if we go back to 10,000 years ago, let's even go back to 2,000 years ago, because we can guarantee that 2,000 years ago, humans were pretty much exactly like we are.
How long have humans been around? 10,000 years? Am I totally wrong? I'm gonna Google this.
I don't know what the number is, but it's a good number of. I think it's in the tens of thousands. Civilized, I think they call civilized humanity.
No, 300,000 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I
think civilized humanity is less than 10,000. Although it's always up to some debate, and they always make more discoveries.
But are we really more civilized now than then?
Right. Well, civilized meaning not just primitive, not just roaming and, acting more like apes and like humans, but having societies. But what I was going to say is what I'd be more likely to believe is, let me back up. So if you go back, let's go back 2,000 or 10,000 years ago or whatever. Like the number of people that were.
Can you kind of at least catch up a little bit?
Well, I can't while I'm talking. I can't do everything.
Sure.
So.
Okay, keep going. We'll deal with the chat in a minute.
So I don't know. I just don't know if the number of people who are dead that are ready to reincarnate match the number of people that actually need. We're not. At some point there were only. At some point there were only 10,000 humans. Now there's, what are we at, 8 billion?
I don't know.
Is that the number? So if you're reincarnating, there's not a one-for-one reincarnation. What I would buy into, here's my hocus pocus, is if there is one set amount of life force. Maybe there's one set amount of life force. That includes animals, maybe it includes plants.
Huh?
And everything that is alive now, plant, animal, human, is from that life force. And when you die, you go back into that, and then so that it's not a one-to-one. It's just
Okay.
it's like you go back into the soup, and then some other part of the soup is poured.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Somehow.
What do you guys in the chat think of my version? And there's probably a name for this. This is not something I've studied,
It
but
probably is a thing. I would imagine.
like I'm way more apt to believe, rather than a one-to-one reincarnation, that there's one shared life force that you come and go from,
Oh.
and it's just pieces, and that the piece of your dog Peanut was a piece of some other life force before, and you were a piece. Like, it's just all the
Gotcha.
soup being poured differently, right?
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
So
Would it be just human life force, or would it also
no,
be like?
I would say all life force, anything that's living in any way. I don't know. I'm not saying that I believe that that's exactly what happens, but I'm saying that to me is way more believable than a one-to-one reincarnation.
Okay, gotcha. Wow,
So
that was my reincarnation question. No, but I do think it's interesting. Ew, body soup. Silly. Yes, this is a Buddhist. Consciousness is one. Okay, there you go. It's a Buddhist theory.
yeah. Okay. So then I'm not far off. Like, if we're all one, then then it's not always a one-to-one reincarnation. We do have another guest that just showed up.
Ooh,
And it's
okay.
a guest who I don't think will be here all night, because this person is away and not in
the life.
not in her home tonight. So I think she's popping in when she can. So
Yay.
let's have a warm welcome for Amanda, Limelight Lass.
Hi. Hello. Good evening.
Good
I'm at-
evening.
How are you guys? You're talking about some deep stuff.
I
From,
know.
from
Have
what I
you
can
been
tell.
listening to us? I
We
don't know.
started out talking about death and dying,
Yeah.
and then horrible ways to die. And now we've got into reincarnation and stuff.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. But yes, I met my friend. So, my friend, I haven't seen him in 6 years, and he has known me since I was a wee little 19-year-old lass. So it's been really good to reconnect. And I wasn't planning on, I'm going to be staying here, but he has this incredible wine cellar, like just top to bottom wine cellar.
Wow.
So I'm enjoying that. So I'm like, I don't really want to drive an hour home. So probably safer just to stay put. But look at the wine he gave me that to take home. It's called Bitch. Very
Nice.
appropriate for me.
I love the color
Perfect.
too.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Amanda, I know something about you today. Are you up for talking about it, or should we ignore it?
Yeah, no. I'll talk about it.
Okay, let me introduce it. Amanda had a very important life
life event.
life event today. She, as we all know, she does karate.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she uses her hands like knives.
Of course, and my feet mostly.
So,
And I'm from Delco, so
she's
we
from Delco.
combine.
So
Mhm.
she has. What belt were you?
So I was a green belt. Well, I still am until I get promoted in a couple weeks. So I'm a green belt with 2 stripes, which is 4th GOP in Tang Soo Do. So I was testing for red belt, which is exciting because you're
Today was
closer.
the red belt test.
Red belt is right before black belt, and also I get a new uniform with like red trim instead of green, which I'm very excited about because I think I do look good in red.
Yes.
Okay.
you do.
So it's very nerve-wracking. Like if anyone does, any kind of martial arts, preparing for the test is very, very nerve-wracking. So the past few weeks I've been like really going hard. I practiced my break. Won in a tournament. I wish I was a millionaire. I wish I was a millionaire. But anyway, so I broke, like we always, you have to practice your break in class and actually do it in class before, because sometimes you don't always break at the test, which to me would be embarrassing. Luckily, I've always broken, including today on my first try. They give you 3 tries to break. And you have to break with something different every time. And there's like it's a gymnasium test. So there's all these people in the stands watching you. Now, look, you know me, I love getting the attention. I love having the spotlight on me, not at the karate test, because there have been times where they will pick out stuff that you do wrong. It's very humbling. And they'll be like, do that again, like by yourself in front of everyone. Like, do that move again, do that form again.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, they will nitpick. They'll be like, why were your hands this way? You're not, and they sit all these, it's all like the masters from all the schools in my, thing. They sit there like American Idol, like a panel of 5 judges, and they sit there with papers judging every single move that you do and writing it down. So it's very, it's very nerve-wracking, and you have to sit there crisscross applesauce for, what was it, 2.5 hours through this test. That in itself is a feat. So very diligent. My point was, I broke in class with a jumping front kick for the first time. So you could, go up in the air. So that was good.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends, who actually is the one that got me into karate, and she always partners with me, and we usually test together. So we were, we're very supportive for each other. So we got to the sparring part, and we were sparring. Now the note that my master had given me to work on was my sparring, because I hate the fighting part of karate. Like, it's not my favorite thing, but she wanted me to be more aggressive and whatnot. So we did the sparring. You fight for everybody fights in pairs. Just, it looks like a big brawl, down on a gymnasium floor, because you have 10 pairs or something of people fighting. And they're judging you to make sure that you're being, aggressive enough and whatever. And my friend was coming at me pretty hard because she wanted to show off her skills. Well, I guess I don't know. I did something, and she was trying to come back at me, and she collapsed to the ground, starts screaming in pain.
No way.
We have to stop. I'm like, oh my God, because this is one of my best friends, and she's hysterical. She is extremely badly hurt. She twisted onto her ankle, but also hurt something else. I don't know. They had to take her out. The medics had to come down. They had to take her out of the test. And everyone wanted to look, but it's so disciplined that everybody who was sitting on the floor ready to test, they had to tell us, don't look, eyes forward. You have to keep your eyes forward. But it was so distracting because there's literally they're wheeling her out, and she went to the emergency room. And there's been an update too, clean since. So she's now in a boot. She has to wear a boot. She is that severely. So
do we know, did
my
you do it?
God.
Was it your blow, or is it how she moved? Did she twist her own thing?
It's a blur to me. I feel like it was not so much my move, but she was trying to counter it with the same intensity, because I was pretty intense. And she lost her footing and just kind of crashed, but it was horrible. But she messaged me and everything, and everyone was coming up to me saying it's not your fault, you're doing. So her dad is actually one of the masters who trains us sometimes, and he was one of the judges. And as I was sitting there visibly super upset, he came up to me and he's like, you did exactly what we told you to do. We told you to up your game, and you did. And yeah, I swept the leg. Exactly. No. And he was like, you
Is this a common thing? Do people often get hurt at these events?
No, it wasn't. That's the horrible thing, is that because it's supposed to be, because it's light contact, because we don't wear
But
our gear.
most of them are not Delco bitches.
Right.
Jeez.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I just felt so bad because her whole family, her 2 little girls and her husband were there, like videoing and everything. And I'm like, oh no. I felt so bad. Even if it wasn't my, they kept reassuring me. And she texted me and she's like, it had nothing to do with you. Like, it's my just old body or whatever. Oh, wouldn't wrestle. Okay. All right. Ooh.
Oh my God. So was it a broken leg? Is that what it was determined to be? A broken leg? Or was
I
it something?
don't think it's broke. I think it's maybe like sprained or something, but she's in a boot and it's going to take her a while to recover. In the meantime, though, because at one point we clashed though, and my one toe is like black and blue. I know it's not the same thing, but my one toe is like really hurting. So I probably won't be able to spar for a couple weeks. I know these injuries, what I do for my art of karate.
Wow.
Other than that, it was probably my best test performance. I mean,
I hope you passed the test.
I did pass, and my master like even messaged me after. Well, she was checking. She's like, "Are you okay?" Because she knew I was so upset for my friend. But she's like, "You did so well." That one unfortunate incident. So yeah, that was yeah. I'm not showing my toes. No, it's so gross. No, money burner. It's so gross. It's like, yeah. Because it's like black and blue. It's like my third toe on my right. But yeah, I was told, you know what? They were saying, Money Burner, that, it would be good for you to hear this story because it'll teach you like what I could do to you when I meet you, and get you back for all of your shenanigans.
Exactly.
Wow. So you literally kicked some ass today.
I did. No, look, if it was like my enemy, I would be fine with this. I would be great with this, laying someone out. But I don't have nunchucks. No, we don't do so. In Tang Sudo, you don't do any weapons until you are a black belt. I'm just getting into some of the self-defense, which is where you practice holds and grabs, and if someone's attacking you, what to do, how to break out of grips and things. It's a death stream. Oh yeah, I might get sepsis. Right. But anyway, hopefully not. So I know a little bit of the self-defense, and I'm, they do say, like, they do ask us, like, would you be prepared to kill someone with your bare hands? And I'm like, yes, of course. I know how to do it. So I'm not going to give away my secrets, but they teach you the secret.
Awesome. Well, sort of awesome. This sucks for your friend.
It does. I feel so bad about it. Even though it wasn't my fault.
I bet they're going to move you straight from red belt up to black belt now. No, you're going to skip.
I don't want to. When you get to black belt, and it's really demanding, and those tests are tough, and you have to break. And then you have to get to the point where you have to break 2 boards like together. I just break 1. The forms are technically way more challenging, especially when you're older of a certain age, because the kids have the flexibility and, they can do all the crazy stuff. But, we have limitations. I'm not as like flexible as like my son is also in karate. So he tested for red belt a couple months ago. So he's technically a rank above me now. But once I get once I have my ceremony, it's on the 28th. I'll be back to a rank above him because I started. It goes by like when you started, when you're the same rank. And I started a couple months before he did. So, but he's enjoying like lining up ahead of me.
Kevin Conwell wants an earring check. Here, we'll start with. We'll start with Amanda.
I've got some hoops on, some gold hoops. Yep.
Okay. Nice. Now, let's see.
I noticed you like gold.
I love gold.
I'm a silver person, so I've got mine are just simple hoops today.
Oh, that's so funny. We both wore hoops. We didn't even.
I love hoops.
Me too.
We're all wearing our hoops.
Oh yeah, you have a hoop too. And I'm also wearing this mic. Do I sound okay? I'm trying something new. Cool.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Thank you. This one plugs into my iPad. So anyways. So yes, I like that Kevin is interested in the earrings.
Although
That's
I can't tell if you sound any different from normal or better or worse. I mean,
Well, what I was noticing is without the mic, I felt like my voice kept trailing off. Like at my end of, when I stopped talking, I noticed it kind of trailed off. It doesn't matter. But I just wondered, I hope everyone can hear me okay, because I keep touching it, but I guess it's fine.
No, you sound good to me.
Awesome.
we pick it up and blow in it for a second.
No,
So that-
I'm not going to do that.
No, just so I know for sure that you haven't, that it's switched, that it's
Pick it
not
up and blow
actually
on
your
it
other
for
one. I don't hear the blow. Because it should be like
Maybe
you should
it's
be able to
not
hear
on.
it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I have a
It
little
almost
stand.
seems like it's your iPad.
Does it sound like I'm talking into a mic at all to anybody?
Nope,
Anybody
doesn't.
at all?
Nope.
How about in the chat? Does it sound like I'm talking into a mic? Or does it sound just
Oh, I have a little stand now. Oh, this is fancy.
No,
My friend just got
I
me a
think it's-
stand. Ooh,
I think it sounds like it's still coming from your
fancy.
iPad,
What kind of stand,
This is
Amanda?
it.
Margie.
What?
Oh, what?
It's as
like a little
Fernando
stand
says,
to
it
set
sounds
your-
like the mic is not working. It sounds like it's still coming from your iPad, Margie.
Okay, I'll just take it off then.
That's why I asked you
I'm
to
fine.
blow in it so that we could check it. Yeah, I don't hear.
The whole time, it's not doing anything for me. Oh well, it was only
Yeah.
$19.
So yeah, so you can.
None
you
of the
can-
mics I've bought have worked for this setup. So thank you for letting me know.
Yeah,
do
so
appreciate
you
it.
can plug your power back in.
Okay.
Have you
Uh,
talked about fragrances yet? I know I don't have
No!
but
You want to chat about fragrances? We
a
can
little
chat.
bit for
Yes.
briefly before I get back to my poor friend who I
Yes.
know who's not, he doesn't even have social media. Isn't that crazy? My friend John, he has no social media.
Art.
No, I'm trying to teach him about the YouTube world
No.
and how
No social media. In some ways, that's pretty good. you know.
Definitely don't get into the live stream world, friend. Just kidding.
Amanda having her own conversation. Don't I always?
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I told you last week, like I'm super, show a move. Well, I don't know. But I mean, like strike centers, punch, horseback stance. Like, okay, no. Sorry, I'm wearing like my muumuu, my Mrs. Roper muumuu today because I just wanted to be comfortable. But yeah, so I'm getting so excited about like the fall fragrances, and I've been buying some fall fragrances. So I got that new Smoking Hot from Killian. Has anyone out there tried that?
I have
Don't
not.
know it. I've only smelled a few by Killian, and there weren't things that made me want to smell anymore.
Well, his stuff, Killian typically runs like more gourmand, right? But I think they're
And boozy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Not as good.
and
Like I
boozy.
love Angel Share, and it's
yes.
in the same vein. It's good. It's like a
So-
smokier.
So what's this one all about? Smoking Hot. What is it all about?
So it has this
Red bottle. Is in a red bottle.
Is it in a red bottle? No. So I got the travel spray because I blind bought it. And I'm glad I didn't get the full bottle because I like it, but it's not however much it is. It's not with like two something near
Yeah.
$300, I feel like. But I love my Angel Share. So it's not to me as good as, so people who have had an apple hookah say it's very realistic, like what an apple hookah tastes like, but I have no idea because I've never had that.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit smokier. The dry down's very similar to Angel Share, but I don't like it as much as Angel Share. So I'm fine that I'll wear it. It's nice.
Yeah. At least you got to try it. So what size of decant is it? And then, or travel size is it? And then how much was it? I'm just curious.
I
like to know what offering
I
is.
feel like if my memory serves me, it's a 10 mil. I feel
Okay.
like it was like 50 for the 10
Yeah,
mil.
that sounds about right. 55 or something like that. Yeah, that's what they're running.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know.
These
It's
prices,
always like on the verge of like, do I just buy the whole bottle then, or do I get the travel spray? You know what I mean? Like Frederick Mall's little travel sprays are expensive, but
Yeah.
their bottles are freaking expensive. So you're kind
Yeah,
of like,
because I have the travel of, and the travels are, I feel tiny from Frederick Mall, because I have the Portrait of a Lady, but I want to say that was like 75 for
it
like the
probably, yeah,
little,
that
or
sounds
maybe
right.
90.
Yes. I
Yeah,
have Lodiver. I think that's how you say it. That
yeah.
the Iris one. Yeah, I think it was about $75.
Mm-hmm.
Steam.
I mean, luckily they're,
$75 for like this size. Is this what you're saying for this size?
Yeah, I think so.
Margie?
sorry, I'm motioning for more wine for my friend. You know, isn't that nice? I get like refills.
So is the smoking hot smoky? Is that
Yeah,
do
so
I-
it's smoky. It's very smoky and incensey. Oh, thank you. What is this called again? It's a, this, by the way, is a Sauterne. Do we know?
Ooh, no,
See, you know about like the
but
wine
I don't know
stuff.
about this one. What's
So
this one like?
We need
So-
Rachel.
it's a Sauterne. Yeah, Rachel, where are you? So it is very, very sweet. It's like kind of like a port, sort of. No, it's a dessert wine from France,
Okay, interesting.
and it's interesting. It's good. But yeah, so smoking hot is, yeah, incensey smoky in the beginning, but then that kind of goes away. I kind of wished that the smokiness stayed the whole time, because then it would be a lot different from Angel Share. There's a
Yeah.
lot of good, I feel like there's some good stuff coming out that I'm like anxiously awaiting. There's the new Shalimar Iris
Yeah.
one supposed to come out.
Yes.
I think
Is it Tonka? Is it a Tonka one or an Iris
that
one?
was the Tonka was last year, and I snagged that for like the split second it was on.
Good
I
for
don't like
you.
when they do this thing where they make something available for like 10 seconds and then.
Yeah. You know what? I only have one Shalimar. That's my scent of the day is Shalimar.
That's
I'm wearing
nice.
Shalimar. This one is a Filtre de Parfum. And it's one of their flankers.
right.
Oh no,
Nice.
I think it's probably richer. And then because the other one I have is the Shalimar EDT, just the EDT one. And this
Yeah.
one seems like more bergamot and like kind of lighter.
Right.
And the filtre is a little bit deeper. But you know what? Just wearing these today, because I put one on one side and the other, I was like, do we need anything else besides Shalimar? It's so freaking
It's
good.
so good. It's so good.
So good. I mean,
It's so good.
I can't even believe it. I need to wear it more.
Yeah. My scent of the day is I feel like also just a must-have classic, which is Lalique Le Parfum. You cannot go wrong with that thing. And it's so inexpensive.
Oh, I think I have that. It's like the vanilla one with
Yeah.
the baby. Yeah, that's good. I like that one.
It's so good. It's so, so good. Oh, hi, Marcus.
My scent of the night, I only just put this on right before the stream. I didn't wear anything all day. Something I haven't sprayed in a few months or more. Rianne
Oh.
from Etat Libre de Orange.
Yeah.
I really like this one. I think it's underrated. I think I really want to smell this rocking on a woman. It's totally unisex. There's nothing that's particularly one gender or the other, but as much as I like it on myself, I think I'd really like it on a woman.
Do you think it has aldehydes in it?
Oh yeah, it's definitely
Okay.
it's aldehydic. It's sparkly with aldehydes. It's
And
incense and
incense. Yeah.
aldehydes.
A bomb. It's huge.
Yeah. Like,
Incense and aldehydes.
yeah.
I like it
Yeah,
though.
it's pretty well. It's pretty aldehydic. The aldehydes are almost equal with the incense in it.
That's interesting. I don't know. I'm sure I have smelled it, because at one point I bought the sample kit of every single Etat de Libre one. But
Yes.
After a while you go a little batty.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know.
I
They
did
have a-
that too. I had it for the longest time, and I forgot about it. When you get a big sample set, we probably had the same Italia Libera de Orange sample set.
Yeah.
There's so many of them, and you smell it, and you go, and then it just becomes this sample set that you have.
Right.
Really, like
Yeah.
it's when we get those, we need to go back, and we need to not be smelling them all at the same time. Just pick a couple and wear them for a
Yeah.
while. Forget about the others. Because I never gave them another thought for the longest time, and then
Yeah. Same.
Margie asked me one night, was it late last year or early this year, if I'd ever smelled it, and I don't remember why that was on her radar. And I was like, no. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. I have the sample set. I have it somewhere.
Yeah. I have to
broke
revisit
out,
it. I have to
and I
revisit it.
sprayed it on, and I liked it so much. I became kind of fascinated in it, and I ordered it the next day.
Wow.
So,
We
yeah.
should do
And
like a little sample set, like sniffing party with that set again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love Ghost in the Shell. That is like, I'm so in love with Ghost in the Shell.
Really
So I bought a bottle of it. It's so freaking good.
nice. I haven't smelled that one. Does the chat know, or do you guys know? Rich Mitch has been talking about a Itat Libre de Orange frag like a lot. Is it Fat Electrician? And he's been saying it's really, really good. I want to check it out.
Probably. Fat Electrician is one of the most well-liked
Do you guys
ones
know?
from Itat Libre d'Orange. It's a fougere, I believe. I have the sample of that too. I need to
That
break it out.
store, right? Yeah, that store you have has it, right? That little.
They carry them. It's just a matter if they have which they have at any given time. But
Yes.
yeah. I do have the little sample of Fat Electrician, so I should
What
break it out again.
Yeah. What else are you into, Amanda? Anything else on the radar that you've been wearing?
What have I gotten? So yeah, I've gotten a few other things, but that I really like the smell of that I'm not ready to wear yet because it's just starting to get a little bit cooler here. So I got those ones from the Harlem perfume company, Harlem Candle Company, Langston and Speakeasy. They are so good. Boozy, tobacco-y, just so up my alley. So I can't wait to.
Does it get really cold where you're at? I'm sure, right?
It not as much anymore. Like we've been having some pretty mild winters in the Philly area, but I don't know. It's like right now it's in the 70s and it's great, but it's going down finally to like the 50s at night. And I like when I can turn off my air and I don't have to pay for the air conditioning all the time. Turn it off.
Exactly.
Open the windows.
Yeah. It's starting to get down where it's like it got a little warm today, so I kicked on the air. But have you been wearing that clean?
No, I actually just sprayed it yesterday, as a matter of fact.
I can't.
Because I was going through all my vetivers, and you know what? This is the one I like the least. This one has too much harsh. This has amber woods in it in a way. It's got a harshness. It's a little screechy to me, JJ. I find this a little bit screechy. What do you think?
You know what? You should send that one back to me so I can revisit it because
Okay.
I didn't like it either, but who knows? Maybe now I would like it, right? There's stuff that you go back to and it smells good.
I would say for the same reasons I don't like it that I don't think you're going to.
But I think, you know what I think it is? Because that's the new version of Miller Harris, right? I think maybe that's the newer formulation. Anyways, their stuff's pretty, like, it packs a punch, don't you think? That perfume.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. I actually sprayed 4 or 5 vetivers on myself. It was either yesterday or the day before. And I loved all the others, and the others could actually play together. I had them all on different spots. I was like, oh, this smells good, except for that one, Vetiver Insolent, Miller Harris. That one just came off really screechy to me. And
Or was it powdery? Was it too powdery?
no,
I think
not at all powdery to me. It's screechy. It's got a harshness that's a little stabby, screechy in my sinus cavity area, like some amberwoods will do.
Yeah, you
So,
just do not mix with those amber woods. You just
no.
do not. I can't wait to wear my Zoo Everlasting, by the way. It'll be cool enough. Yeah.
I wear that on and off. I wore it all through the summer. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need a season for that. I think it's
so good.
It's very good. But yes, it's nicer. I could tell it'd be nicer in cooler weather for sure.
Amanda, will you answer this question for Jimbo? Is Mr. Smelly still alive?
Yes, Dan is alive and well. I assure you. Yeah, he's good. He's just living his life, living his best life. Everyone deserves a night off here and there, but he's fine. Yeah. I know. Trust me, I make sure that Smelly is doing fine. I take good care of him.
Yes. So, Marcus, no, Smelly has not. He did post a new recorded video today, but he has not done any lives this week. His last live was last Friday. And boy, for a while, he was doing 3 lives a week.
Yeah.
So apparently Smelly's been arrested.
No, I hope not. I hope not. But no, I think you get, we talk about that. You can get burnout on them sometimes. And sometimes you feel like you just don't even have enough stuff to talk. I'm not saying that's what the issue is, but I think that and you have your own things to do, but I think it's good to take a little bit of a break so that you can come back kind of rejuvenated and maybe you'll have some more things to talk about.
I agree 100%. And honestly, I mean, you know how it goes because it's how you were doing it this summer with me. Like you and I would each be on
4, sometimes 4 in a row.
3 to 4 streams a week.
Yeah.
And you get to a point like, wait, do I have anything really to contribute at this point? Well, you probably never got to that point. Amanda never gets that point.
No, I just love running my mouth. But no, it gets a little bit addictive because it's fun, especially like in the summer when I'm off from work and I don't see my friends every day, like in person. I'm a super sociable person. I need that connection with people. So it was great to have the interaction. So a lot of my friends were away this summer, as they should be, living their life. So but now it's like I'm getting back to like the real world.
You and I spent a lot of time together this summer.
We did, and it was wonderful. And we got to know each other a lot better. And we was like, I feel like bounce things off each other, and we're Leos, we're the coolest.
Yes. JJ got a major burnout from live streams.
Can happen. Yeah.
Yes. But he's back at it. He's had two effluvians. JJ, I missed the last one you did, so I still have to go back and catch that. But we're all glad to see you back with effluvium and your awesome guests. So holy cow, this Rian, this Rian it's pretty intense, man.
Yeah.
I've not smelled, and they make Rian intense. I can't even imagine where it goes because this one itself is pretty beastly. I think I put on, I'm somebody who will spray
yeah. I do that too.
8 to 12 sprays normally without a problem. This is like one in back and one in front, and it is pumping.
Yeah.
Like 2 sprays and
like good projection and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing is huge.
Yeah.
You know what I compared it to? That Rian, it was what's that? Sierra, Revlon Sierra.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It smells like Rian. Right?
Oh, okay. Remember the night that we did the spraying game, I picked Sierra as because that is a banger and it's like $8.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Take Sierra just intensify it, clean it up a little bit, make it a little stronger, some better ingredients, but doing kind of the same thing, just add the aldehydes to just sparkle it up a little bit more, and boom, that's Rand.
Yes, totally.
Nice.
So anyway,
Amanda, how far from your own home are you? Where is
About an hour.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is it city-like or suburban-like or rural-like?
More, and technically, would you say this is suburban, but
like, do deers walk through
rural
yards
suburban?
here? Or do deers walk through yards? Or do
I don't know. Do
bitches
deer
that
walk
need to
through
get
here?
cut walk
Yes,
through yards?
they do.
oh, okay. There you
Yes.
go.
I don't know. But yeah, so it's a nice little break from the Delco hustle and bustle. But
Yeah.
what's that? Oh yeah, actually this is how many square feet is this house? 6,300 square feet house that I'm in right now.
That's huge.
That's pretty big.
It is big. It is nice. It's very nice. And there's a very nice wine cellar. So I'm getting super spoiled. So yeah, it's fun. A lot of fun. So, well, I'm going to leave you. I hate to leave you guys, but I don't want to be rude to my friends. So
Totally understandable.
am I okay? Oh no. Okay. He says it's okay. Okay. It's okay. I feel bad. 6 years. I have not seen my friend. I met my friend John through when we both worked at the Strawbridge's department store in the 90s. And I started out in the young men's department, and he was in housewares? I think housewares. And he worked his way up, and he's very successful, and I'm very proud of him. And but we've stayed friends ever since. But yeah, he knew the 19-year-old version of Limelight Lass when I had orange hair and carried a Star Wars lunchbox. So, and look at me now.
That's
breaking bitches' legs and
Right? Does your friend have any idea of what a big deal you are on YouTube?
Well, I don't think so, because he doesn't even know what YouTube is, but I'm trying to show him the way.
Oh yeah, he said he wasn't into this stuff. That's true.
And so I know I'm such a big deal with but you know what? I will say, being on the streams, I guess I can attribute it to being on the streams. My subscribers, I've gone up in subscribers about 300 more since I started streaming. Slow and steady, but
it helps.
Yeah, I imagine you get to, there's probably it ramps up like this, and then you get to a certain number where the ramp gets less steep, right? Like I personally, because I seriously have no idea how I'm ever going to get enough subscribers to get monetized. My stream hours are fine. I'll have the stream hours in another month or two, like without a problem.
Right.
I don't know where the numbers come from.
It's
especially
tough.
without posting videos, because I'm not posting videos where like the top 10 fougères or whatever that people are going to look up, and
that's what you have to start doing. Clean.
Yeah, well, I'm not going. So go.
I know I'm like averse to filming any videos. Have you been doing videos, Limelight? A lot of them.
I did the one on Carmina a couple weeks ago. I need to do, you know what? I've done some shorts. I find the shorts are like really preferable. Like they're so easy because you don't have to not that I edit anyway, because I don't know what I'm doing with that stuff. And it's a shame. Like I really need to learn how to. Like my videos are not edited whatsoever. And luckily I'm a professional public speaker, so I can make it through an entire video without majorly messing up. That's one of my superpowers. So, but I would like the videos to look a little more interesting and whatnot. So I've been doing some shorts because it takes a minute. Sometimes you get crazy views on shorts. That's what you should. That's what you should do, Queen. Just do
I
shorts.
said, and Margie wears shorts.
I do wear shorts.
Who wears short
Good one.
shorts? Remember those
Good one.
commercials? Ne'er wear shorts.
But I
Remember
think
those? If you
great. I
can't.
love them. I love them. Like I follow this one girl, and she actually lives in Chicago, and she just goes around and like films her like a day in her life, like these shorts. But I consistently watch her all the time just because it's interesting to see what she's up to. But I do see that smaller, you know, the little tidbit of just connecting and like, you know, kind of, you know, showing you something that's interesting. Because I don't know how long shorts are typically, but I think they're great.
I have always been annoyed with shorts. That said, as annoying as I have found them over time, I find myself watching more and more of them, and I'm starting to forget that they annoyed me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They're just so prevalent.
I don't know perfume though fits that kind of format. Because like, how are you gonna describe a perfume that quickly?
I do it for the ones that are like no brainers. Like if I don't have that much to say,
Yeah.
so I do them on like the
Sure.
Victoria's Secret. Like, you know, I do that just to sort of be like, I usually get the little roller balls when they're on sale for like $10. And people want to know, like, what does the newest like Victoria's Secret smell like? And they're all kind of the same. You can't sustain like a 10-minute video on a Victoria's Secret fragrance. Let's be real.
Oh, no.
So
No. Those are just like,
Here's what
I
I've
have
been thinking that I might do, although it's still something to do that you still have to take the time and fucking do the shit, is just going through my live streams and pulling things, posting some as standalone videos that are 2 to 5 minute long.
like the DDLD method. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and or taking some and turning little snippets into shorts, even, you know, from the live streams.
That would be
So,
smart. That would be a
could
super,
work,
that
but-
would
you
be,
could clip this part and play it on YouTube as a short.
Yeah,
a short about shorts.
a short about shorts. And a short
That's a
about
mind-blowing
Margie.
concept.
Margie,
Like-
if you stand up and show your shorts, then we've completed the short
Your
circle.
shorts. I don't have any shorts. I hate wearing shorts, but yeah.
Margie's wearing white shorts.
Shorts. I love shorts.
Shorts.
And now it's
That's what's
skirts.
be stuck in my head.
Skirts. I just got a bunch of new skirts, and I'm gonna go through and pick which one I like. So no, I was gonna say if JJ's still here, I want to challenge JJ with filming some shorts reviewing perfumes. Wouldn't that be cool? A JJ short? Because JJ usually has a lot to say, but I wonder if he could get it down just to where it's a little nugget, and we still get a vibe.
Fragrance enthusiast wants me to ask, so let me ask. Margie,
Yes.
Margie, are you a fan of animalic amber?
Yes.
Does that mean, wait, like as a concept, or is there a perfume called animalic amber?
No, just as a concept, as a
Okay.
type of perfume.
I think unless there is one called animalic amber that I'm not aware of.
No, I think he means, okay, so the first perfume I thought of, fragrance enthusiast, is Papillon Bengal Rouge. To me, oh my God, that's my favorite amber. You gotta try it. I'm just gonna get a bottle. It's actually not that bad, Papillon. Her prices are very fair. But Bengal Rouge, excuse me, it is a amber, but it has like somehow, and she doesn't list any animalic notes, but it's balsam. I think balsam's in it. Anyways, it has that purr, like it has this like animalic, like it smells when you smell it. I think she did it after her cat. She created it because she has a Bengal cat, and it smells like a kitten. It smells like furry, and it is so good. Oh my God.
I have to try that.
It's my favorite amber, and it's animalic. It has an animalic lean. What else would be considered an animalic amber? I mean, what about Shalimar even? No?
Yeah. I would say Byzantine amber from Francesca Bianchi. Love that one. So good. I love her stuff. So good.
I know.
Yeah.
I only got one that I didn't like, and so
I'm
then
kind of down on the whole animalic thing. I think
yeah.
there's a certain level of
You
animalic that
smell.
I
You
actually.
smell Bengal Rouge.
Yeah. I still have a little of Buchan here.
Did you like it?
Yeah, remember that's one that I didn't
I think
like
Amanda
at
liked
first,
it.
and then I came around to it. Not that I'm like, oh my God, I love it so much, but I came around to it like, okay, all right, I like it enough. I like it okay. Right?
So yeah, so it's basically an amber, but yeah.
Victor, good evening. Clean the painting behind you. And Margie, is that your favorite color palette? Or no, the colors are a little different. So in
I love.
mine, wait, so mine, that's a very like true blue, royal blue, whatever. And the orange is very orange. It's a very red orange. So I'm not sure how much the colors translate here. Whereas with Margie's, though some of the colors might overlap, the blues there are more in the aqua blue and greener blues on some of them and lighter blues. And then
What's it at?
So cool though.
though there is some bright true orange in there, mostly it's more like salmon or like
Can you
or
move it?
coral. What little it's the
Coral.
orange is more
Coral.
coral like in that one. So the blues are a little more aqua and the oranges are more coral.
I love all of your artwork. And maybe one day I will get some as well.
Thank you. I do need to do more. That's for sure. And you know what? I hadn't finished painting for quite a while until Margie asked me for a painting, and then it just inspired me and I went right to it.
Yeah.
So
Very nice.
so sometimes it takes knowing that somebody wants one, and then it gets me going, you know?
Yeah.
Also, I like inspiration. I mean, I'll paint willy-nilly on my own and just come up with my own shit. But if I know where it's going, if I kind of know the space and I can be inspired with where I know it's going to go, then it gives me a little direction on what I'm going to paint.
It's nice. The one behind you, Clean, always reminds me of the classic book cover of The Great Gatsby, which is like the theme of my whole living room. But you know that one with the eyes and everything, and it's those colors, which I love. So yeah.
It's been so long since I would have seen it. I can't picture what you're talking about, but I'll have to go look for that.
Yeah, like the classic Great Gatsby. Well, you've seen I have a throw. Oh yes, I am wearing a fall outfit. I'm wearing my boho-y. It's like a nightgown. But the throw like that I have on my couch, which sometimes when we do
got
backstages.
a Gatsby room, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a Gatsby room, so you probably saw it sort of in the background, but when we did our backstages through the summer and whatnot, so
No. I'm hanging on.
Yeah, Fernando's saying the colors look similar. It's video and lighting. If they were right next to one another, you'd say, oh, same artist.
Yeah.
But different. The color palette is different.
But
Even if
I
there's
love
tiny
blue's
bit
my
of
favorite color. So I love that there's a lot of blue in this picture.
Put it this way. This is almost more primary colors.
Yes,
like true
exactly.
yellow, true orange, true blue. Whereas hers are not primary colors at all.
Yes. Yes. And it has my favorite. It's got this beautiful hot pink and aqua. Is that aqua? I would call that aqua.
Yeah. That hot pink is hard to tell here on the video that's hot pink.
Oh, it is? Yeah, it's hot pink. I love the hot pink in it. And the blue. Love it. Love it.
Coolio.
Yes.
very, very cool.
Which one do we, you know what? This is much cozier. I like
Yeah. Yeah. I think when you have 3 people, it's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, the standard view, this view, like we all just seem so small and insignificant.
Yes, you're
Like,
right.
We're
just
going back to the beginning of our stream talking about death. It's just, we're just
Yeah.
insignificant.
Well, oh yeah. So you were getting a little existential. So I had to teach this week for the first time in my teaching career. I had to teach Metamorphosis, from Kafka. And man, what a cheery story that is. Because I have one section of World Lit. So we're getting into these deep discussions, and that's a class with juniors, so
Gregor.
Yes, yeah. And so what do you think about the theory? There's a theory because Kafka tried to be sort of vague on purpose so that people could make their own decisions. But a lot of people think that he did not actually turn into the bug, that it's all like in his mind, and that's just how he felt. I don't know.
That
Any
would make sense. Although it's been
Metamorphosis?
so long since I've read it, and that's an easy read. That's
It is. It's a novella, so it's not. It's like 80 pages or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's super short. I mean, the kids still think that's too long, but
for anybody who doesn't know, or if you're like, wait, is Metamorphosis it's the one where like the shorthand is he turns into a cockroach.
He turns into a huge cockroach.
But I don't know that it's spelled out as. Is it spelled out as cockroach? It's a bug, but
it's a bug that again, the scholars analyze and say like we think it is a cockroach, but the whole point is he chose a bug like that instead of like some cute animal you'd turn into, because it had to elicit that disgust from people and horror and terror. And he ends up having to eat trash because and it's a nice cheery little like, hey, everything sucks, it doesn't mean anything, we're all dying, it's good times.
All right, that's
good existentialism.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. So
but you're right. I mean, certainly again, without having read it I read it in my 20s. I don't remember exactly when, but I didn't read it in school. I read it. I must have been I was probably somewhere between 22 and 25 when I read it.
But you remember enough about it, which shows you that like, even, with all the time that's gone by, like you still remember the main story.
I don't remember the guy's name, Gregor.
Yeah. Gregor Samsa, but it's very, very interesting because, so for those of you who haven't read it, I don't want to spoil too much, but this is a great discussion, right? Because he wakes up, and it's absurdist too. That's the other thing. It's like absurdist thing. So he wakes up, he's a bug, but his first thought is like, oh no, I have to go to work. How am I going to go to work? Instead of like, holy shit, like I'm a bug. How do I not be a bug anymore? Which is what I would be doing. But his first thought is like, oh no, my boss is going to kill me. I'm not going to work. What does that say about our society,
Exactly. Although, see, now attitudes have changed.
It's
been like post-pandemic, say, really changed in just the last few years.
Right. It's like F them, I'm a bug. I'm not going in.
Yeah. Like I'm moving to the country and I'm going to live as a bug.
All right,
they probably embrace it now. You're right. People would probably embrace it. Like I'm a bug. I don't have to go to work. Cool.
Actually,
excuse.
That would be really interesting to do, like a modern take on it. You know what? Since you're teaching it, you should consider like how to look at it through modern, like post-pandemic eyes. With
I'm going to do that on Monday in that class. I'm going to do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Because I wonder if reading it now makes as much of an impact, as it did before.
Yeah, and the other big issue is like he is supporting his family and they're just sponging off of him. Like none of them have to work. So when he turns into the bug, they're all like, oh man, like we have to get up and go out there and go to work now because he's a bug. And they're pretty terrible, but that's also kind of like, look at how many people like sponge off of other people now. And even if they're not really, the best equipped to provide for everybody, but they're being depended on. I mean, you could even say like the government is like that, right? Like you could go so many different directions with it and the analysis. So it's a cool piece. I will say, like, I wasn't a fan when I first read it, or I was like, this is kind of, I don't know, weird. But the more we've been analyzing and talking about it, I'm kind of digging it a little more. I'm digging it a little bit more. So.
I was really into shit that was written at that time by a lot of European, French and Eastern European writers. I was a huge fan of Eugene Ionesco. I believe I've read everything Ionesco ever wrote, at least that you can find. All his plays, and like I was really obsessed with Ionesco for quite a while. Absurdist theater, the absurd. You know, Rhinoceros is another one. You know, here you've got Gregor in Metamorphosis turning into a cockroach, and in Eugene Ionesco's Rhinoceros, people turn into rhinoceroses. If you're not familiar with Rhinoceros, you should check that out, because that actually there's a tie-in there, by the way. So yeah. So who knew that we would start to discuss such
everywhere, every which way.
Jimbo says, good night, Mr. Clean. Margie and Amanda, have a good stream. Margie, good luck on Boz's stream. Oh, that's right, you're scheduled for Boz's stream tomorrow. I forgot. Good night, Jimbo. Thank you for being here. So what else is going on here? Everybody knows cockroaches work from home.
Well, then he hides under a couch, right? Because he doesn't want to disgust everybody, and so.
And that's, as a cockroach, he should be hiding under the couch. That's exactly right.
Yeah, but it's very, very strange and kind of depressing. And then he just dies. And then he's just like, not to spoil it for anybody.
See, spoiler. I don't see, and I don't remember the ending, but.
Yeah, so they at first his sister, who he has a really good relationship with, and he was hoping to send her to school to play the violin, and she is the one that figures out that he can't eat regular food and he needs to eat trash, so she's the one that keeps giving him trash and taking care of him. But after a while, he's such a burden that she just kind of stops, and he ends up starving to death and just going in the room and dying. But the climactic moment is, I don't want to ruin it, but no one's going to read it. But anyway, his sister's playing the violin one day. So they have to take these three, do you remember this part? They have to take these three boarders, these three guys that, you know, rent rooms from them to try to make ends meet. And they're like, okay, well, this will keep us afloat. We're going to rent these rooms and these boarders will give us enough money. But then he comes out when his sister's playing the violin because it's so beautiful and he's so moved by it. He comes out and the three guys are like, oh my God. And then they're like, we're not paying you for these rooms because you've got a big cockroach here with trash. So they're really screwed because now they don't get the money from the lodgers either. So yeah, it's just and then they say, man, they start calling Gregor it. We've got to get rid of it. It's ruining our lives. Like, and they also don't realize that he can understand what they're saying. They assume that because he's a bug, he can't communicate. Like, he can't talk, obviously. Right. But I guess they think that he also can't understand them. But he eavesdrops and hears them talking smack about him being a disgusting bug that's ruining their lives. And so they're like, we need to just get rid of him. Our lives are going to be so much better without him. Yeah, it's really... The very, very end, again, this also says something about society. He dies and they're like, well, now we can move out. And then they say, we're noticing that the daughter, the sister, she's looking pretty good. We need to find her husband now. And that's how it ends. We're going to find that because they need some new dude to sponge off of.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it is such a book of its time, or a story of its time, the way it's written. I love that shit. And
is this theater stuff?
What's that?
Is this like theater stuff? I'm not familiar with it.
No, this is a novella, so it's you know, it's considered, I guess, one of the best pieces of absurdist existential literature.
Yeah. It's like classic. It's sort of the icon for that genre, right? If you were to think of absurdist, existentialist, mid-century writing, it's the Metamorphosis, Kafka.
Okay.
And that's why we say something is Kafkaesque.
Yes, Kafkaesque is a term, and yeah, he just wasn't so, and he was Jewish, so his family also suffered in the Holocaust, like after he died, so, or died in the Holocaust, several of them. So, but he never identified with the Jewish faith. So he was just a very confused, and he was very sickly. He died when I think he was only 41. He had a lot of mental problems. I mean, you can kind of tell from what he was writing about that he was maybe not, you know. So he had a sad life. Yeah. Unfortunately.
So do you guys want to talk about, I don't know how long you're going to be here, Amanda, but
I'm not going to go too much longer.
But I want to know, which topic would you like to talk about right now? Because there's two I want to hit, topics that I've been hitting all week, been hitting for the last couple of weeks. Do you want to talk about aliens or Ashton Kutcher?
Oh, Ashton Kutcher, because I don't know too much about the alien stuff. I don't know. I'm not an expert, so before I go, I'll weigh in.
Alien stuff, because I want to debunk that those aliens are real. I have some video to show for that.
We all know it's not real.
Yeah.
Wait, is DDLD going to come on later?
Not everybody knows that. Not everybody knows that.
Is DDLD coming on later?
He said he might, but he didn't know the timing because he was at a massive buffet. That's what I want to know. If he shows up, we gotta, like, he was standing in line for hours for a giant buffet. So what is that all about?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't caught up it was such a, you know, a crazy day that I haven't caught up on all of our messages in our group and everything. I was going to say, he likes talking about aliens, so it's probably best to save that for him anyway. But I'll talk about the Ashton Kutcher thing, because you're talking about how he resigned from that group or whatever.
Well,
step down.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think most of us know, like, wait, I have to remove this thing because I need to share a different. So I think most of us have seen, what am I doing? Where is it? I need to find a screen share here for a second. I'm sorry, I'm distracting what I'm trying to say. Here. There. Okay, so I'm going to share this. We'll talk. So let me finish. So the Ashton catch-up. So I think all of us by now know that he wrote the letter in support of Danny Masterson. We know what Danny Masterson did. And then there was the fallout, and he and Mila did the apology video. And then before I share it, let's just come back where we can all see one another. And then everybody went to town on the fact on how shitty their apology video was.
Right.
And that they originally seemed more concerned about their friend Danny than they did the victims. And then in their apology video, they're like, well, we support victims, and he has this nonprofit that was really for children of who are being trafficked, but same thing, they're victims.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you run this? He's the CEO or the chairman of the board. He started with Demi, actually, when he was with Demi.
Mm-hmm.
The two of them started it. And so how do you go on with doing this, saying that we're supposed to really support you in what in your nonprofit and what you say you're doing there, if you're not supporting the victims from Danny here, la 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 la. So then he resigns. He's probably forced to resign. We don't know the full extent, but he has resigned from Thorne. But what I'm getting to is, after all that, the catch-up is, but during all this, he has never said anything about the victims from Danny Masterson, about the grape victims. He's only said, we support victims everywhere, all victims. Never once specifically apologized to Danny's victims. He kept it very broad and general. And it's really in what happened there and the way that was handled and their apology, their letter they wrote to the judge and all that, they should be apologizing to Danny's victims, not just all victims. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true.
What I'm going to show you guys is a video snippet from Aaron Smith-Levin from the channel called Growing Up in Scientology. Anybody who's interested in this stuff, anybody who's interested in the bizarre world of Scientology, Aaron Smith-Levin, Grown Up in Scientology, is ex-Scientologist. And he is with an organization called The Aftermath as well. Friends with Leah, it's called The Aftermath, just like Leah Remini's Aftermath TV show she did. And they help people get out of Scientology and leave it. But anyway, he has been reporting on all of this, anything related to this for the whole time. And he has a lot of inside information from people. So this is a really interesting little clip I'm going to show you guys about why Danny Masterson is not addressing the actual victims of Danny Masterson's crime. So let's put this on. Here we go.
Which is, why is it that Ashton Kutcher cannot just do what seems to be the easiest, most straightforward thing that would probably put all of the drama and the outrage and the backlash to rest, and just say, Jen, Nisha, Chrissy, I am terribly sorry for the pain my letter caused you, and finish up that apology however he saw fit? The answer is Ashton Kutcher hates the Jane Does in the Danny Masterson case. And this was brought to my attention by one of the Jane Does yesterday. And the explanation for why does he hate these women is that these women seeking justice against Danny Masterson has cost Ashton and Mila north of $40 million. And that has to do with the exclusive streaming rights of that 70s show, which was not picked up by Netflix, as every one of those cast members, including Danny Masterson, was very much counting on. Not only did the exclusive streaming rights not get picked up, which were supposed to be somewhere on the order of $20 million per cast member for the lifetime of whatever the deal was. Not only were the exclusive streaming rights not picked up, but realize Ashton Kutcher was also executive producer on the Netflix show The Ranch, which also starred Danny Masterson. And Ashton was forced to fire Danny from that show after, you know, the investigation proceeded. I can't remember if he was fired once the indictment was announced, or I'm fuzzy on all the dates. It's hard for me to keep the chronology of all that in crystal clear in my mind. But not only was Ashton forced to fire Danny from that show, but that show was then canceled shortly thereafter. It gets a little worse. Ashton, as executive producer on The Ranch, was directly responsible for squashing and silencing complaints about Danny Masterson's behavior under the guise of conducting an internal investigation, but the professional that all complaints about Danny were referred to in that investigation were none other than Danny Masterson's own civil attorney. And you might go, well, that's appropriate because there's a civil lawsuit against him. There was no civil lawsuit at this time. There was no lawsuit whatsoever. Remember, the lawsuit against Danny Masterson by the Jane Does is not for the attacks. It's for the harassment that they've been subjected to by Scientology agents and Danny Masterson's peoples since coming forward. That lawsuit has nothing to do with the attacks themselves. And that lawsuit wasn't filed until much later. And by the way, my understanding is that Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2, since the jury unanimously convicted Danny of the charges against Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2, have like 12 months or 18 months to file a civil suit against Danny for the attacks themselves. And I predict you're not going to see any such lawsuit. Because what's the point? This whole thing was not about money. This thing was about justice. And so let me share with you some headlines that kind of touch on what I'm talking about here. So this is by
Okay. Wait, let me take that out. All right. So, do we see why
Ashton hates.
Ashton and Mila are not even talking about the actual victims? It's because for the last 5 years, they've realized that because they filed lawsuit, which they should have, because of what Danny did to them, they just lost a shit ton of money on their TV shows.
Being picked up by Netflix or whatever it was.
But that's how it fucking goes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Amanda?
Well, they really need the money, I feel my heart goes out to them. They're struggling, Mila and Ashton, they don't have enough money. No, and to me, I feel like knowing him, they obviously knew him very well. They knew he was doing all kinds of stuff. Like, how do you not know? So just supporting.
They were really tight.
Right. Right. And I think we've said this before, maybe on a different stream or with maybe DDLD, but it's like, I don't care how close you are to someone, if they're fucking up that bad and that there's, women here and there getting, violated, I think they should have cut ties with him. I don't know. Why that's a good question. Like, why would you stay friends? Like, did they just have compassion for him and think like maybe they could help him because he's clearly a troubled person, right? Or were they just afraid, or I don't know.
I think that they were, what's that saying? Thick as thieves, where you're just like, they were so tight because she met Ashton when she was 14 years old.
Oh yeah, they have so much history, yeah.
And I think he was like 18 or I don't remember.
19.
And she was 14.
And Masterson was 22.
So she was this little girl, 14.
Yeah.
And these guys had a big impact on her life. And then the whole Scientology thing, you saw them going to events together for Scientology stuff. So that's warped. And the whole thing he went through with that woman that was dead, right?
Yeah.
They've been through a lot of stuff together. So I think it's just all intermingled and it's gross and it's.
So, Marcus, Ashton and Mila have never confessed to being Scientologists. I actually don't think they are, but it seems like they probably dipped their toes, that they probably did some introductory, they probably did some Scientology things, thinking maybe we'll go this direction. So they're Scientology adjacent.
Well, they were at like weekend events.
Yes.
With Danny Masterson.
Yeah, and holiday events, two Christmas holidays in a row. Now, Scientologists don't celebrate Christian Christmas. as a religion, we call them a religion, but they're not a religion in the same sense.
Right.
And so they don't believe in those things. But as a cultural holiday, whatever, they did 2 years in a row. They were at Scientology holiday events. So they were, and as we know, Laura Papon got into it while they were there. And that's what they do. They try to suck you in. But Ashton and Mila, they certainly dipped their toes in. They got close to it. They cozied up on some level. But I don't think anybody thinks they ever went full in, and that they stayed out enough to say that they aren't.
Well, their whole gloss that they had around them, like they were supposedly, people thought they were just like this very charitable couple, right? Pretty clean.
Mhm.
Like I always thought Ashton was a pretty clean guy, and I thought, you know, her, I didn't know too much about her. I mean, she's beautiful, and they had this whole persona that is all gone. That's all gone.
Their lives are forever changed. So yeah, the big thing, and Amanda, I don't know if you caught this part of it. We talked about it.
I mean,
on, we talked about it on DDLD's Mafwa, but the part that a lot of people still haven't really come to terms with, people don't know a lot of detail with, is that there is a murder involved back 20 some years ago. That's that Ashton is attached to. Not that anybody nobody thinks he was involved in the actual murder, but he was witness to the dead body and intentionally did not call the cops and did not report it.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I'll give you a very brief retelling. It was one of their first dates. Ashton was so this back in his early mid 20s. He started the show when he was 19. I think he was 22 or 23 at the time that this happened. So he is meeting this woman for one of their first dates to go to Grammy's after party, and picking her up at like 10 o'clock at night or something. He shows up, rings the bell, whatever, knocks, no answer. There. Mm-hmm. Well, the official report was, she didn't answer the door. He tried again, like nothing, looked through the window, saw what looked like spilled red wine, and thought, okay, because he was running late, thought she bailed on him, probably got drunk, spilled wine, and went out somewhere else. And that was it. And then he went to the party alone. That was the official story.
Mhm.
Well, what really happened was he went in and found the body and saw the actual blood, saw that she was dead, freaked out, went outside, called his agent, called his manager, called Danny. What do I do? What the fuck do I do? She's fucking dead. And they were like, yeah, let's not make this a thing. You didn't see it. You looked through the window.
Well,
That's
it's
all
like
you
Tommy. It's like the Who's Tommy, like you didn't see it. You didn't hear it.
You go to the party. You go to the party.
Wow.
Like you went to pick her up and she wasn't there. Go to the party like, oh, I don't have my date. Like, I don't know where she is.
Yeah.
And then her roommate showed up the next morning, found the body, and that's when it was reported. It turns out they eventually caught the killer, but they couldn't try him at the time because the LAPD figured out that Ashton was lying. And they were like, no fucking way is the jury going to fucking believe. Like, it's not going to be beyond a shadow of a doubt with the jury, because they're going to think Ashton might have done it.
Right.
So this guy was free to do it again. And he did it again. And he killed again.
Oh. Wow.
And he did eventually get caught. And then he attempted to kill another time. And he got caught on that. He didn't, it wasn't successful. The victim was injured, but he was caught after that, and then proven that he did all these other murders.
Yeah.
The only reason he was allowed to kill again is because they couldn't take him to trial and prove his guilt, because Ashton's story would have fucking muddled things up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in a sense, Ashton is responsible for him murdering again.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I did not know that part of it. That's really messed up. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what? And you know, another thing they say is that Danny and Ashton were way too involved with too much shit, and that's why he had to stay by Danny's side through all this, because
That's
Danny also has shit on him, and it's sort of like,
Oh.
you know. So that's just one thing that they say. This
Wow.
is, it's
Wow.
not what Mr. Clean says. This is what
No.
they say.
That is crazy. Yeah. So I hope it all comes out in the wash and justice is served for everyone involved in the whole thing. But yeah, it's very disappointing though, because I always liked all of them. I had a huge crush on Danny Masterson. I loved Hyde because I don't know. I'm always drawn to those like sarcastic, curly haired type of guys. But yeah, I'm very disappointed that they are kind of terrible. Except I also love Topher Grace, and he kept himself.
He's the clean one. He didn't
Yeah,
like those guys. He did not.
I
He
love
did
him.
not like any of those guys back
Right.
then.
Love him. He's
Hey,
cute.
I'm gonna jump off. I am tired.
Me as well, because I don't want to ignore my friend.
I know. Let's wrap it up clean. Sorry.
Okay. Well,
It's a long
Then-
stream. We're already at 2 hours.
come on, Margie. You're the queen of going 5 to 9 hours.
That's nice.
True.
But that
But
was fun.
yeah.
I loved hearing about Ashton Kutcher.
You've been
And
going
I want
like
to talk
you've
about
been doing like
alien-
5-hour streams even recently over on Eugene's channel.
Ooh, excuse me.
So what's the deal with it's almost 2 hours.
Gerard, come up here, Gerard. But seriously, I'm pooping out. You know what kind of day I had.
Yeah.
And Amanda has to go hang out with her
Oh, I
friend.
know. I understand. I understand Amanda. Amanda has a good excuse.
I know my friend I haven't seen in 6 years, but
Yes.
but it was lovely seeing you
know.
all. And hopefully, I'll probably be if DDLD. I have back to school night. That's another fun thing coming up on Thursday. But after I get home, I might jump on that, and hopefully, Smelly has a stream on Friday. We'll see what happens. But I'm so glad I could pop in. So it worked out because I was actually able to be here longer than if I had, gone home. So
It was fun.
Yeah.
I hope
Glad
your
you
friend's
could pop in
better.
on that.
I hope your friend's leg.
oh
gets-
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll have to just keep checking in on her. But it sucks that she has to wear a boot because of our crazy sparring, my Delco sparring.
But I'm
so.
looking forward to seeing you in your red karate suit.
Yes, I will wear as soon as I get it on my when I get promoted, I will wear my I'll probably post it.
And
I'm
a
sure
red
on my
lip. A red lip too.
the red lip as well. I'll probably post it. But you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night, and bye to everyone in the chat too.
Thanks for being here, Amanda.
Bye.
Have a good night. Wait a second. Where'd Margie go? That was Amanda leaving. What the fuck was that? Margie, I know you said you wanted to leave soon, but I thought we would wind this down. Okay, well, as you guys know, I don't like to sit here and talk alone, so I guess we're done. I thought we would have a little wind down here. So, all right, guys, this stream is coming to an abrupt end. On average, you say she may be backstage. No, but I can see my stage. She's not there. She's nowhere. She left. She left. All right, well then, I guess we're done. All right, everybody. Good night. Thanks for being here.